Check one, 1, 2.
2, 4,
Electric
6,
Boogaloo.
8. What you got there? What you drinking? What's your beverage?
A little hop tea.
Hop tea?
Small amount of caffeine. It's tea flavored with hops. See, now get that little hop burst. I like I like the taste of hops, even if they're not in real beer.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if my brain could process what hops taste like outside of beer because like hops wasn't a thing in my life until beer. And really, realistically, I mean, when did you really start talking about hops is when the craft brew thing started happening. So like, I don't know. What does hops not in beer taste like?
It's
Like
really good. It's very refreshing. Like there's all these like breweries now make like some kind of hop water or hop tea. And it's really about the calories, like I'm trying to trim down. I'm trying to get that Christmas 6-pack so my family thinks I'm sexy,
Mm-hmm.
Then
because
they're
if there's
like,
a time I'm looking to
yeah,
impress, it's
yeah.
it's at family gatherings.
I'm trying to get in bathing suit season for my fam,
Right, for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that a gift to them for Christmas? Can you double?
Yeah, I'm gonna get us all hot pants for Christmas, and I'm gonna be like, hey, let's all try them on now. I already got them on. Just do the Adidas ripoff.
Yeah.
Look how good they look. The pants.
You're right.
Me.
It doesn't really work with this sweater, and then you have like a mesh tank top under it, and you're like, that works better.
Now I'm shredded, but still. Oh my god, I didn't even know my nipples would poke out through this mesh like this. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
weird.
past the mesh, you guys.
Yeah, it's like, Matt, it looks like you cut extra large holes in that area, though. I don't understand why you're saying you're surprised.
It's weird how this angel is just hanging from my nipples,
Wow.
It's almost like it just wanted to celebrate the season.
Right. I don't know if that's a shout out to Jesus or to Santa, but everyone wins on that Christmas.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can tell you this. Whenever somebody sees my nipples, they go, Jesus.
All right.
Oh shit.
You did.
Oh, this is fun. I forgot to hit the thing where you would be able to hear the song too. Is that why? Did you notice that? How you couldn't hear the song?
Did I notice how nothing was coming through? Yeah.
All right. Well, just so you know, it'll be there in post. I was wondering why you... Boy, look at us.
Man.
Like, took 37 episodes for me to make a mistake, all right?
No big...
Excuse me, Mr. Perfect.
You never make a mistake.
Look at this, look at the color bounty we have for these t-shirts going on.
Yeah, a lot of bold t-shirts.
Movies. Hot reference.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Dave's
gotta
Bait
be...
and Tackle. A hot reference for those Dave's Bait
Yeah.
and Tackle lovers. Is that
real? This place is real.
Okay.
It's like this little hole in the wall place. They do sell bait and tackle and fishing stuff. The guy's name is Dave. he's a cool ass dude.
It all checks out. It all checks out. That's an honest shirt.
Yeah. This is a hashtag ad. This is our first sponsored podcast. Because I bought some live bait a couple weeks ago, and I think he tossed in a little extra minnow. If you know what I'm saying? Wink, wink, wink. Got me that old little bass minnow. You know what I'm saying? A little largemouth. A little something for my largemouth. I got a small mouth. Psych. What's happening? Dave, hashtag, that was in the copy. He wanted me to say that. All right. Hashtag ad over.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, you got your shout out. Movies. What's that reference? That's got to be from Jay and Silence or Clerks or Dogmas or all those.
That is Clerks, the Clerks universe. That's correct. It's in where they work in Clerks 2. Yep. I don't know. I saw the shirt. You know what? You know what's funny thing about where I got this shirt? I got it at a national chain store, but it was probably
Spencer's.
my first. No, but
Okay.
you're sniffing the right area. It was probably my first purchase at this store in over a decade.
Hot Topic.
No, close. You're trending in the right direction.
Damn. There's another store like that?
Yes, but they
Let
didn't
me.
always used to be a clothing and small goods and random that hodgepodge of a store. It used to be about music and movies.
Is it uh like
Real
FYE, one of those things?
FYE.
Shut up. They're still
Yep.
where? When?
I got it probably a year and a half ago in our local mall, in the Deptford Mall. There's an FYE, and they had a little stack of like Jay and Silent Bob stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy these. So there was also
Dude,
a Blunt
there's
Man
still an
and Chronic
FYE.
brownie mix, and I bought that as well.
Stop! Don't come back.
Oh my god, that's so ridiculous. I can't
Yeah,
believe it.
man. So
Like,
yeah, I'm like, when was the last time I bought something from FYE? Because like it used to be a CD hub and DVDs when DVDs first started coming around, but FYE was classic. Like, guys, we're offering you this brand new DVD for $23.99, marked down from $29.99.
I
Yeah, but
know.
here's the thing: no one sells it for even $23.99 because I can go to Best Buy and get it for $13.99. So
Dude,
FYE
CDs had the
did not have a good
balls
model.
to be like, yeah, like 19.99 or whatever for a CD.
Yeah.
That happened quick. All of a sudden, everything was like 13, 12.99, and then like a year later, around 96, 97, it was like, oh, these are regularly $19, but we're marking them down to 16.99. It's like, what? They were like $13 last year.
False.
You can't just say that.
Yeah. So
Man,
it's where
all my
we all
hard-earned
started
lawn
doing
mowing money.
BMG music and Columbia House.
Yep.
Get that 10 for a penny.
We all took advantage of them.
You bet.
It was their own fault.
Mm-hmm.
The Columbia House was the pay whatever you think is fair program. That's the take one candy Halloween program. It's that's basically what they had going.
Yeah, they're the people that also have to take their kids out, so they have a massive bowl out and just says take one. You're like, yeah, absolutely, just one.
It's not their fault. They just had too much faith in humanity, and that's where you go wrong in business.
So yeah, that's when we started. That's when we really started trending downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Oh. Well, how's your week been?
It's okay. Not too busy work-wise. We do have trivia tonight that I have to get out the door for.
I know we're recording this.
That
on the edge of work.
Yeah, so this is
what kind of trivia?
It says 90s and 2000s invasion, so we're really not certain exactly what that's going to entail with our normal trivia guy that we follow around. But last week was The Office, as we know, and we placed third, which I'm pretty proud of, given that things like The Office, like that's a big niche obsessive fan base. So we knew going into it, we're like, there's going to be people we've never seen play before, because people who like trivia nights for particular things like The Office, like find these places to go to, and there's just spastic people.
Pro teams,
huh?
It's like Office trivia pro teams that travel.
Essentially. Like, dude, there's an Office trivia / bar hop in Philadelphia that I think happens every year. Like, they have trivia at each bar, and people go dressed up as Office people and stuff like that. Like, being in Scranton nearby, it's people feel this extra connection to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, The Office happened here. It happened around here. That's where it came from. Do they ask questions at The Office trivia that were asked on the trivia episode of The Office?
No, but wouldn't that have been good to ask trivia? Ask
who's
those
this?
questions.
Who won the NBA's Sixth Man Award in like whatever it was 2009?
Yep.
Lamar Odom. It was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Yeah.
The one good one was they named their team the Einsteins, and there was a question about Einstein, and they got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
But yeah, so niche. I'd rather general trivia, to be honest with you. I have a lot of fun if it's a trivia that I know, but I feel less pressure when it's general trivia.
Well, also if it's like a specific thing, it's not trivia anymore. It's not trivial. It's like deep cuts. It's like going deeper. It's not. it's an office quiz. It's not trivia anymore. You know what? That's where you get them.
Wow, that's the most intense, in-depth concept ever. Is that can you have specific trivia?
What's who's on your team? Take me through this friend group.
There's Caitlin. There's our friend Roman, who I met through Caitlin because they graduated high school together. Then there's our friends Brian and Danielle, a couple. And I know Brian through my previous employer. We were coworkers. And then we have our members that show up a little less often. Amber, who is a friend of Roman's. Dan, who also was a friend of Roman's. And then we have Pete, is someone who's recently joined our group. He is a recently single man who wanted to get out of the house more. So he's like, please invite me
It'll
to
be
your
all right,
trivia
Pete.
things. Thanks. Yeah, Pete.
Hey, Pete, let me tell you, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yep. It's an interesting...
I mean, trivia is a single man's game.
What? No, it's not.
It can be. I mean, you're right. It's not, but a lot of trivias will house a lot of single 30-something white guys at them.
The guy who won Star Wars trivia, when this guy did a Star Wars trivia one, which, as you can imagine, was deep cuts, and a single player by himself won. Like, it's incredible.
Good God.
Yeah, like, if you can beat a group, a gaggle of Star Wars nerds that are playing on the same team, and you're just one guy, I assume you don't watch anything else. I assume you eat, breathe, and sleep.
My dad, what's that? It's like, I don't know, it was like a Scene It type of game or one of those. The Star Trek version. Like, my whole family played against my dad once and he won. He won.
I was just going to say, I'm like, this is either going to be Star Trek or wasn't your dad also a massive Twilight Zone guy?
Yeah. He's seen them all. Yeah, he knows them all. Yeah. But it's like, I mean, we don't know. I mean, I've seen Star Trek episodes, we used to watch a lot of TNG. That was the big dinner time. Put it on the antenna TV on top of the fridge, the little 13-inch TV, black and white. Get that syndicated Picard, #1 to bridge. We'd watch it, but I don't remember. I mean,
You had a TV in the kitchen?
I think at Nelson Street.
I was going to say at Nelson Street. Really?
Yeah, at the old house. At the new house, we cut the hole out of the wall so we can see from the kitchen into the living room.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
Isn't it? It seems silly, but I guess now, at family dinners, kids just have their phone out anyway, probably. Is there such a thing as the family dinner? The 6 o'clock, whatever. It's like, come down for dinner. I mean, there's got to be. But does it have cube steaks? Brussels sprouts?
Cube steak.
Rice-a-roni or whatever, just
I was going to say, as a kid, rice. I never understood really what cube steak was, but I'm going to amend that with, I don't really know what cube steak is. It looks like hamburger meat when it's raw, but it's hamburger meat that's stuck together because it's
hamburger that chews like a steak.
Yeah. which this should not be appetizing. No. It doesn't taste like either one, but I know I'd eat it with ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the last time I ate cube steak.
I would say
it's not a cube.
1993.
Why are we calling it cube steak?
No idea. Maybe because it's one of those things when you're a kid, you try to figure it out. Oh, it's called a cube steak because you can cut it into cubes. That's where my head would go to it. When you just don't know why things are things and you come up with the reason that they are. Well, cool. I hope you guys catch a dub. What's the grand prize tonight for a dub?
So at this place, it'll be a $30 gift card, I think, to the brewery.
Cool. So a quarter of your bar tab, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Plus, it's all about the W,
Oh, 100%. Yeah, this is a pride aspect.
Yeah, you could pay entry into it and not get a prize, but just try to win it. That's what it'd be about.
Oh, I would. I would. That's the realistic aspect.
Well, if you need help with a question when you're there, just text me.
Call.
Just pull out your phone and text me. Yeah.
One sec.
Yeah.
I gotta call.
Yeah.
One sec.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be like, hey, no, I'm not on my phone. This is a play phone.
No, but actually, I'll even put it on speaker. And you're like, yo, I'm like, hey, keep it down. People are looking, but I need you to answer this question. Do you hear the song playing in the background? Can you turn that up? Do you hear the song playing? Can you tell me who this artist and
You know what?
song title is?
That might be the hack. That's probably the best way to cheat, is to have somebody on speakerphone. Because maybe if you have your phone down and you're not looking at it, just throw up that speakerphone. You're not holding it. And people are like, oh, that person in that group's really loud and far away, but they have a weird voice. But hey, nobody's looking on their phone. It's got to be legit.
Interesting. But I don't know how I could turn off my sound cancellation. Maybe my cell phone is like, nah, you don't want to hear this background sounds. So my phone is too courteous for the listener. And so the listener can't hear it all. I'll just video it. Like, what am I talking about? I'll just video it. I'll just set up my phone and video it.
Yeah, no, I'm here. See, I'm not using my phone for cheating. My buddy's just here hanging out. No, just like, just clicking on the keyboards. Google. What do you think? I think part of trivia, when you're thinking 90s, 2000s, what's your instincts? Did you think about it today? Like, did you even think to look at a certain type of question?
TV, that would be popular, I would assume. Maybe he's going to do a music round. That's one of his 5 rounds. He'll do a music round. He's creative with what aspects he'll go with. Like, maybe it's really hard to say. He probably won't do a specific event, but like he would do something like ask a series of questions of, I'm trying to think something that would make more sense. Like, he doesn't go for like the easy stuff. Like, a lot of times he'll have one general category, general knowledge, but then he'll just go on weird tangents with stuff. Kind of like how Jeopardy does their categories. It's not simple categorization. He doesn't go into like rhymes and stuff like that, but he thinks outside the box with certain aspects. So I like that. Maybe you would do like athletes that were in movies or something like that. Like he might have categories like just weird stuff of that nature, kind of weird crossover things. So it's hard to guess.
I used to invent games on the podcast that I did in Austin with the bands that would come on. I used to invent a different game every time somebody would come on, and it's really hard. It's a lot of work to try to come up with something. Just to like,
just ask the Parker brothers. Just ask Milton and Bradley. Just kidding, they're dead.
Yeah. And I did one of my favorite. You know what? Maybe I'll try to make it for next week. I did a game, one of my favorites that got a really good response. It was called Lead Singer or Porn Star. And I would name a name, and you had to decide if it was from a heavy metal band, a lead singer, or if it was the name of a porn star. And it was like perfect. Like, it's just dialed up really perfectly. So you know what? Hey, as a treat, StrangeFam, tune in next week. I mean, keep tuning in now. Keep that dial tuned to whatever. Next week, I'll treat y'all to some porno star. Who's that porno anyway? Remember that used to be called porno?
Yeah, and then we shortened it to tapes. Porn.
It was called porno. Yeah, shortened. Who has time for porno? Not me. I don't have time for porno. No, yeah.
I ain't got no time for pornos.
Yeah.
But I have also heard pornog. People I think it's like a comedic shortening of it, but I've heard the term pornog, which does make it sound hilarious.
Turn on the old pornograph.
It's like an old timey, like hand powered like
it is
projector. Maybe
what she said.
Yeah, it's all hand powered.
What in pornography related to pornography is not hand powered, right?
Yeah. Next week I'll bring some names. I'll bring some lead singers and some porno stars.
Okay.
It's so hard to be a star now too. Tough business.
It's a tough industry to break into to really make the big bucks.
Yeah,
it's like competitive eating. I didn't mean it that way, but everyone can do it theoretically, but there's only a handful of people in America, I think, that are actually making money, make a living off of it.
It's weird though, because I always hear in porn there's a lot of openings.
Yeah, but a lot of those positions are filled.
Oh, Zinga, Zinga. Let's go.
Oh
Let's
man,
go.
puns for
Oh man.
days.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Speaking of hardcore
So,
sex,
right.
I think we wanted to touch on some relationship advice. So I don't know if you brought
Okay.
something. I wanted to bring up something. So I was looking at Reddit, but I told a friend at work about this idea that like
Okay.
how our relationship is so superb now that we can just like start judging other people's and figuring theirs out.
Sure.
I was like, I'm gonna look up some examples on Reddit. Then she just asked me straight up, "Is like, what do you think about the idea of what do you call it? Like sharing locations on phones in a relationship?" And do you know of this? Have you ever done it with somebody? Like, do you do it with Caitlin? Have you ever like? I mean, on the iPhone, I know it's easy if like y'all are iPhone users. You can track locations. I think it's a Snapchat thing too, where you can like see where people are. But I mean, especially with the phone, I think it's different because Snapchat. I don't know if you have to have the app open or what. But yeah, phone. Do you think it's a good idea? Does it matter? I mean, I guess my initial thought was, what's your initial thought actually? Just hearing that, like, let's say your significant other was like, "Hey, I think we should share each other's locations on the phone."
I'm not for that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's a need. I think that breaks down like the concept of individualism, and I don't know, man. I'll never be that person that it's just like I've said before. It's like when last time I lost or broke like a phone, I was without a phone for 3 days, and it was so liberating. Like, because you're just like, I don't know, you just like you just can't be contacted, and sometimes like I think that's a healthy concept. Like someone knowing where you are all the time, it's just, or even the ability to learn it. Like I don't, nah, nah, and I don't want to know the whereabouts of everyone all the time. I'm an anxious person as it is, so I would like my brain to have less access to concepts. So like I think that's probably a big reason of it is I'm an anxious person, so like the less we think about certain things the better. And so I think that it is a big I think that the push of the safety concept in a relationship is far outweighed by the lack of trust that I think it represents. To me, that's my interpretation. It's a lack of trust or like need to know as opposed to a safety issue. Is it a safety thing? Because people have been successfully not dying just because they didn't have like access to people's phones and stuff. I don't know. I'm against it. What's your take?
See, I was like I think I'm so into the idea of it not being an issue that I came all the way back around to being like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, I don't care. Not in that like, oh yeah, you can watch me because I'm not scared of what I'm gonna do. Because I would be like, I guess I would want to be in a position where I'd be like, I don't care. I mean, the part of me that's like, the worst part for me would be the idea of wanting to track somebody's, like wanting to know where my significant other was. I think that would drive me insane, honestly. That part, not because I want to know, but because I would just do it for no reason,
Because you have the
just because of my
access.
brain, and I don't
Right.
care. I'm not. I wouldn't be worried. There's no point in the rest of my life. I will never be in a relationship where I would be worried about cheating either way, because I just
No.
wouldn't be in a relationship about that. Um, but but I'm also like to the point where if she wanted to do it or something, I would be like, yeah, okay, I don't care. And it'd be like, what's the worst that? I mean, the worst that would happen for me is like, well, why were you at this convenient? I mean, I guess I would just be honest about it. I guess I don't know what I would be hiding per se. That it would be. I'm okay with it. I guess is my way of saying it. I don't know. I can't think of a situation
But
because even if I went to, like, say, worst case, it's like, oh, I saw you were at the strip club. What were you doing there? It's like getting a lap dance. Like, what? It's like, yeah, I'm real sad. Like, yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I don't know what
not
to tell you.
right. It's not that I'm doing anything wrong. I think it's just the general concept to me is what's very frustrating. Like I don't want our I don't want my world trending in that way.
You think it's
And
overreaching for a relationship?
it's overreaching for no purpose. So do you need to know where I am at all times? Yes. Okay, why? Because I don't trust you. Okay, then we shouldn't be together. Like, that's what it says to me. Right?
If it was for that reason, you're right.
So then what's the one? Then what are the practical reasons outside of that?
I could
General
foresee,
practicality.
it could be fun though too. It could be like a conversation starter where you're like, "Oh, hey, you're at Old Navy. Get me pizza pattern boxers while you're there," or something like that. I guess I would be okay with it, especially if it got to the point where you stopped thinking about it in a way, where it'd be like, "Oh, I wonder where Julie is right now," and be like, she's still at work. Okay, you know what? I'll go and pick up dinner because I know she's still at work," or something like that, without like chatting about it, something like that.
I'd fuck that up.
You would?
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I would probably do it. I would do it.
But we don't, like, that's the dumb shit of like Googling. We have access to Google when there's disputes and stuff, and people won't use it. People will just go online and be like, I think this. And so we don't use Google for that. But we do use the internet for dumb bullshit all the time in like echo chambers. So like the problem is if we theoretically could use something for the right reasons, 95% of the times as society, we use it for the wrong reasons and it spirals out of control. So it's one more thing I don't feel like spiraling out of control, and you can't convince me that it wouldn't.
You know what it would do?
It would kill adapt to it.
It would kill the little lies that don't matter or hurt anybody, but they would become issues where it's like, you're late, you're staying late for work or so, whatever. Not for you, but somebody's staying late for work, like 15, they should have already been home. You're like, "Oh no, I'm already on my way home." And you're like, "No, you're not. I can see." And it's like a little thing. It's like a 15-minute late thing could turn into like a thing because you made a small lie about it because you just didn't you wanted to buy yourself a little bit of time.
And I would continue to do that. I'd continue to make my stupid little lies like that, and then people call me out on it and be like, "You feel better? Is this you glad we did this?" Like, exactly. Like, it's, I don't know. It's stupid to me. It's just, there's no need for it. Just because we can do it doesn't mean. Listen, I'm going to quote Dr. Ian Malcolm as best as I can.
I heard that right away.
And it's just like, they always thought, they kept wondering, scientists kept wondering if they could do it without thinking if they should. And they shouldn't. Like, stop. Now, if it's a safety thing with your kid, that's fine. Because your kid is a different situation because they make shit decisions. I was a kid and I made plenty of shit decisions. I kept making them when I was 18, but my parents generally after 18 did get a little bit less hands-on. But for a spouse thing or a significant other thing, I don't buy it. I'm not for it. No.
You know what? I am into it for the safety thing too. I think it could come into handy. Just one time in life. Just imagine. Because I don't think, I would say the opposite. I would say the negatives don't far, in a way, like
No.
go over the safety aspect.
But what? Give me the safety issue.
For me, I'm obviously
hold on.
I'm an active rock climber.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
The safety issue where this particular thing comes into play. That, now, mind you, it has to be a situation where they couldn't, in any way, shape, or form, use their phone as a telecommunication device to text or call you and let you know a situation. So how is safety coming into play? Because the only thing I feel like you're going to say is kidnapping. And that's
car accident.
Really few and far between.
I think like a car accident, something like that.
And
like
how is the phone locator telling you that?
Running off the road. Well, if it doesn't move and it's on the side of a road for an hour.
And you're going to, how do you know it's been there for an hour? Does it tell you how long it's been on the side of the road?
I'm telling you, dude, I'm addicted to this thing. I can't.
See, that sounds fucking terrible. That sounds terrible. So it controls your entire fucking life and your psyche for the one chance that it might help if this particular situation arises. Fuck that. Nope.
There's got to be fun applications for it, though.
There could be, but we're going to use it for the stupid shit and wrong shit too. I'm saying the fun it can be used for it.
I'll say a lot of people will. A lot of people suck. But honestly, I am like a perfect partner and I'm great at relationships and people would love to know my location. And I would love to know yours, StrangeFam. If you're listening, share your location with me. Also, I'm kind of I'm just a people pleaser. You know what I'm into? I'm really into pleasing women. So they, if they want to know where I'm at, you know, hey, just show up to my door. Interesting. Hey, riveting conversation. Good. I hope we share each other's location after this pod. That'd be fun, like doing it like states away. Like where I mean, it's got to be used. I mean, the idea of that though, for so many shitty relationships, starts so many fights every day.
Right.
Of like, why were they? Well, you're not supposed to be drinking. Like, why are you even at the bar? No, because they have the jukebox that I like. Like, what are you talking about? No, my friends go there. I didn't drink. Yeah. No, because they have those chicken wings that we.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Why are you at that deadbeat bar? Because they got the good food. Yeah. No, they don't.
No. Yeah. No, I didn't have a drink. Check our joint credit card statement. So my credit card I don't even use anymore. You know I don't. No, you can't look at it.
Check my Soch. Check my Soch.
Can I check you? No, you can't look at my texts. Come on, babe. You know. I love us so much. I think we should stop talking.
What could possibly go wrong?
Did you have anything?
No.
I know it'd be challenging because you didn't get to hear the episode because that didn't come out yet. This is what we're doing. We're bulking them up.
Oh yeah, right. No, I mean, like I said, my buddy Pete is recently single, and he's getting out of a very long relationship. I think somewhere in the 7-8 year long.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So, but coming from the other side of it is that I want to say I'm really proud of Pete, because Pete very much was a guy who, in a relationship, stayed at home, was a big fan of video games, to each their own, but he was more of the like, I'm going to nap after I get off of work, so I can wake up and then spend most of the night playing video games to go back to sleep to nap before work. Like he almost like did that.
He's on demon hours. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would hang out in certain situations, but you needed to give him a 24-hour notice. Like I couldn't say, hey, do you want to hang out today? But I can say, hey, do you want to hang out tomorrow? Because he can like process it better. So when they finally broke up, and I won't go into the actual breakup, but the post breakup Pete is like, he talked to me and he's like, hey man, if you wouldn't mind, I want you to start inviting me to things again, because I want to do stuff and I want to get out of the house. I want to change the way that I do stuff, because I think that's a healthy change I need to make. And so he's been surefire coming over he came over for Sunday morning football at 9:30 in the morning. I said, I'm like, hey, anyone wants to come over? I'm like, make some breakfast sandwiches and such. Serve that while we watch Toy Story football at 9:30 in the morning. Pete doesn't watch sports. So I'm like, hey, he's like, I'll be there. And Pete came over and was asking questions about football and stuff like that, and like different stuff. And he's just like, if someone's willing to take me in and invite me to the football thing that I know nothing about, I'll come to it. And so like, he's just making strides. He's like, I don't know how much I'll contribute in trivia, but I will be there in that social setting. So Pete has probably hung out more the last month and a half. I've hung out with Pete more than I've been able to probably see him over the last year and a half. So, sometimes you get out of that rhythm and you got to start doing new things. So I think you and Pete were very much on the growth spectrum of like, listen, if I want things to be different, I got to start doing things differently. So I think that's
it is true. You just got to do it.
The post relationship thing, for those relationships that don't end up working out, that immediate post relationship action is very interesting.
Yeah, it's so hard. I mean, God, getting dumped is one of the worst things in life. It just feels terrible. And even if you know it's coming, even if you're not happy and you're not, if you get dumped, it sucks. Like, no, I'm not happy with you. I don't like you. You can't dump me. This is terrible for my self-esteem. I shouldn't have been with you. Yeah.
That's not fair. It's not fair. It's almost like
yeah.
you think like you have to like register who the dumper and dumpy was in some sort of
Yeah.
like that it's actually irrelevant when in reality it's not. It's not really a relevant concept of any sort.
Technically, I quit on this relationship like 6 months ago.
In my
You're just
defense.
catching up.
In my defense,
Yeah.
Your Honor, I've been checked out. Yeah, I mean,
It's really hard because like breakups just rock your confidence, just your self-esteem, your will. It's just like it's so hard to be like, well, especially the 7 years. I did something for 7 years. It was the same every day, and I knew it was going to be, and probably thought I was going to get married, and this is the rest of my life. And now that it's done, everything's done. Everything I know about life has changed. And how do you be okay with that? And be like, you know what? One foot in front of the other. Let's tackle this. It's like I'm impressed with Pete.
yeah. Okay.
He's got the right idea.
He does.
So far.
He does.
Because how many people do that? Just go out to trivia or like come over to football when they're with somebody. Even it's hard as an adult. It's hard as an adult. It's not, but it is. We make it hard for ourselves to get out of our routine, whatever it is.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Socializing. Yes, I know those of you with kids, it's a different world. I've heard it. I know you don't need to explain it to me again. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of this weird instinct is that I think we're overwhelmed by a lot of other things in adulthood. And it's like, I need some downtime to process all of that. But in reality, you're like, I need some downtime so I can sit in a dark room by myself and be anxious instead of enjoying time with other people. So
I was last week, I had Monday off, and that's when a friend of mine does trivia, or they go with their friends to like trivia. And I've been to it once. She invited me, and then she invited me this time, or told me Sunday, and I was like, yeah, I'll see, because it depends on the day how it goes. And I decided I wasn't gonna go, and I couldn't decide if I was being lame or not. So you tell me. So like Monday, so it's Monday off. So I get up, I do my whatever, edit the pod, then I do like my homework for this little training class I'm doing. It was long. I did a bunch of chores and stuff, and so I spent my day functionally doing, not being at work, but doing a lot of catch up on life stuff work. So I felt like I did a lot of stuff, and it was kind of, I decided to want to go, but it's also like I would have to drive to downtown Syracuse. So it would have been like probably like a 45-minute drive, and then coming back like after like 11 o'clock. I was kind of being lame about the drive. That's ultimately what did it. Like if it was in Auburn, I would have gone. But since I had to drive, I just didn't really want to do it. But I was like, I felt okay about it. Like I wasn't ditching. I never committed to it. But as it's just like like almost, it's almost easier like if you worked that day to then go out and do trivia versus like having the day off, like wanting to relax, doing a bunch of stuff, and then late at night, going to trivia. I don't know. Is it lame? If you factor in like an hour 20, an hour 30 of driving to do it, that was the big deal breaker.
I don't think that's lame, and I think that is a valid deal breaker. The drive is a big part of it. What do you want to? Yeah. It is what it is.
Like, I'm also the guy that's like, no, invite me to. Like, I want to do stuff. I have no friends around here, and then I get invited, and I'm like, nah.
Do they live in Syracuse?
No, she lives in Marcellus, but then she drives. So that's east of me, and then Syracuse is east of that.
Right.
So she's closer to it, but I've gone with her to like karaoke before here, and I would do it again, like stuff around here. I know there's trivias in Auburn. I've been with our buddy Mark to a trivia before, so I'm down. It was just like something about those days off, it's like I want my days off to be the way I want them to be, in a way. I had it in my mind of like I got to get all this shit done, and then I was like, oh, now I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, man,
and that's part of my day off.
That I 100% agree with. I can be more motivated on a weekday to almost keep going with the rhythm and be like, all right, yeah, let's just go.
If you get out of work, it's like, oh, it's, know what? I'm already up. I'm out. Yeah.
Because this will be my thing to unwind. Whereas in a day off, it might wind you up. And that's not what you're looking for in the evening of your day off. Because that's the most psychological and mental effort and emotional effort you've had to put in would be getting the drive, being at the event, driving home, then trying to come down so that you can go to sleep. And that might in itself be like, well, that's a lot at the end of the day from a day off, and you're like, I don't want to go mellow in the morning and then start peaking later at night. So no,
yeah, is it like lame to be like, oh
lame.
shit, sorry, I'm so tired, I had the day off today? It's like,
no,
I use my days off now. They're very productive.
yeah.
I like do shit. And then I don't want to do shit. Like,
if it was in town, yes, I would have called you lame. If it was in town,
that's fair. I would have accepted
but
that.
it wasn't.
Yep.
No, 45-minute drive. If it's over a 15-minute drive, that's when you start getting into questionable territory. 45 minutes, that's a trip.
And I would do it if it was like, if I was meeting up with a date or something like that, and I was like, we had plans to do something like that, I'd be like, yeah, definitely, I'm in, I'm committed, or something, whatever.
Yeah.
If it involved, a lot of mouth stuff, I'm in.
All
that.
Come on,
that's
man.
like half of our podcast.
Jeez. Cut that and post, as you say.
I will. Cut it out.
Thanks, Joey.
That'd be a good t-shirt.
I guess.
Hey, did you want to bring out another t-shirt idea?
I do actually have.
Did you bring one? Let's go.
Yeah, we agree. And next week you're gonna have.
I know, but you didn't listen to the last pod. I mean, you couldn't have, so I didn't know if you'd remember.
I actually wrote 2. Okay.
You did?
I wrote 2.
All right.
So
I also have one too. I'm too excited about this idea.
Okay.
We're proprietors of t-shirts now.
Yep. Right. All t-shirts are trademarked, probably. So going again with simplicity, I only could think of text. I was trying to think of things I could put on a shirt, but I'm really a text guy. I can't think of images as much. So one just says 2 words. It just says, it would be first word up top and then second word under it. All right. It just says politics. And then under it says, am I right?
All right. Yes, a shirt for the disillusioned.
Yeah, people, it's like, hey, I'd like to talk to you about something. And I'm just going to, instead of like people wearing political t-shirts, it would just be a t-shirt of any color. It just says politics. And then, am I right? Which is one word with a question mark. Am I right? That's making fun of all you tool bags that wear political t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I was like, I want to do something like that of like the Let's Go Brandon. I just want to make a shirt that says fuck Joe Biden. Because that's what people are really saying, and they just can't wear a shirt that says fuck
But
Joe
it
Biden.
takes away from the secrets.
I know. It's the lamest thing. I know.
It doesn't. There's no one named Brandon. We're saying naughty things against the president.
I know.
That is not a defense of Joe Biden. It's making fun of the dingleberries that came up with secret codes.
It's such a shitty shirt. It's so dumb. I just like, you can make fun of it because it sucks. It's stupid. It's not funny or it's like so lame. You know what? It was. You know what? It was funny for a month. It was funny for like a month, and that's it. And then you just keep it going, and it's like, all right, man. It's like,
Thanks Obama was better than that. At least you said Obama, and you're like, thanks Obama, because then at least it was way easier. It was way easier to turn into comedy. Just being like, you can complain about anything in your life and go, thanks Obama.
Yeah, that was good.
Now the other one is less generic, so it's a little bit specified for the niche group, but we'll see if you know what it's referring to. It says, I proudly, with the word proudly underlined, I proudly jump the wall at Wario Stadium.
I mean, I know what that reference is.
Yeah. That's all it says. And I don't care. And if it's confusing to other people, I don't care. But there's some people that are going to be like, you son of a bitch. So
it's very
you cheating son of a bitch.
Yeah. Number one, it's not only a video game reference to arguably the most popular game that ever existed. Because you
at this point,
multiple demographics. Everybody's played Mario Kart at some point in their life. But it's a very specific track and like cheat. It's very like internet culture too, subculture, and all right. Yeah, so it's basically like I cheat and I love it. Deal with it.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some background to it because I did have a friend who aggressively called me out on it. He's like, "You're a wall jumper?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." I'm like, "It's part of the game and I'm not doing anything. It's a video game. You can't
Hey, there's
cheat
no
at
game
video
genie
games."
attack. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't cheat in heads up video games. You can't. You can exploit poor programming,
It
and
is
maybe that's
exploitation
what that
for
is.
sure. Yeah.
But it's not cheating because you're able to do it. I'm not altering the game. I'm using what the game provides me as tools. And oh man, that goes out to Sean. Sean,
That's
if you're
Mario Kart
listening,
capitalism.
yep.
Who's Sean? Who?
It's my buddy Sean Zier.
All right.
Yep. And one of my boys from back in Buffalo. And I know his wife, Tiffany, listens to this pod. She told me recently that she was listening and catching up. Sean, that one's for you. I'm going to wear that shirt. And next time I see you, I want that shirt made and I want to wear it to whatever I see you so we can fight about
this
it.
track is in America.
And appropriately, I'm wearing a purple and yellow, which is Wario's color scheme. I'm wearing that type of shirt. And that was not on purpose, but that is a delightful coincidence.
To get out of here. You thought about it. About it.
No, but I don't mind using
I like the idea of
video games.
That's a fun idea too. I like making shirts of like video game cheats and just proudly saying that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I proudly screen cheat on Goldeneye.
Oh yeah, screen watch.
Yeah.
Certified Goldeneye screen watcher. Ooh, that's
there you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Write that down.
Write that shit down.
Write that down.
So timely.
Certified Goldeneye screen watcher. Yeah. 100%, man. I mean, yeah. I only
My other controller is Game Genie. I've heard Game Genie. You just plug your game into this device, and it has a little book of all these codes that just allow you to cheat in every game. It, like reprograms all the games so you can have infinite lives and all that shit.
Nintendo's like, oh, you're gonna hack us? We're hacking ourselves. Actually, I don't even know if Nintendo. I think Nintendo did release it. I don't know if it was third party or not, but that's gotta be weird. If that was third party, does Nintendo go like, hey, assholes, knock it off? Like, what are you doing?
I remember I had one for my Game Boy. It was great because the Game Boy was already small. I put this like clunky thing on top of it and then put the game in it. So it was like double the size of the Game Boy.
Oh yeah. Get the
and the code book was so tiny and cute
and stuff. Game Genie or Game Boy had so many attachments for it. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, I could wear one like, yeah, I need 30 guys to beat Contra. What of it? Or what's your point? Like almost an aggressive, I accept that I need to cheat to win this game, but you know, it's important.
You could do like Madden or whatever, like Madden 24 season in review, 16 or whatever, 17 wins, 0 losses, 25 rage quits. You know, just like the stats, how many times you reset. 25 resets with 2 minutes to go. I mean, that's long, but you know, you can make it concise.
Yahoo gave me a C- draft, won the league. What's up? Like stupid shit like that.
I was thinking of one. I wanted to do something with like the eat, pray, love, like you know how like especially in the script, you know how people have that. Mm-hmm. It's like whatever you see it in people's houses. I mean, it's the name of a book, but it's like this overarching philosophy on for basic bitches. And I was like, I kind of want to adapt that, the little script style, but make it a Gen Z. So you say something like yeet, slay, riz, but keep it in that eat, pray, love thing. So it's like,
dear Lord.
Number one, Gen Z kids would never buy it, but we would sell it at Hot Topic or Spencer's for people like us in our demographic. They'd be, oh, this is so funny because they're using Gen Z words and I know all about them, even though like Gen Z kids don't use these words anymore. Because if we know about something, that's what I think people forget. What people forget is that if we know about something that's from the generation or next generation, our grand generation, that means we're already 4 weeks late. Like by the time it gets to us, we're already so far behind.
Yeah, I've accepted that. That's fine. That's fine. I'm content with what we say and do.
Yeah. Touch grass, drip. Let's Thanksgiving, you know, all the fun stuff. Mm-hmm. Print it.
Got them written down on Post-it notes, which is very 2023 of me. Can't lose those, right?
Yeah. I had something written down here I want to ask you. Did you ever wear a Livestrong bracelet or do the ice bucket challenge?
I don't think I ever wore a Livestrong bracelet. I did wear other bracelets that were obviously the bracelet movement of like the 2010s, early or late 2000s.
Talking about like the leather clasps.
Like no, I'm saying like bracelets exactly like Livestrong, the rubber bracelets for like other charities or stuff like that. I have worn those. Never literally the Livestrong ones, if that's what you're asking. Not ones that have said Livestrong. What's that?
So what kind of cause were you fighting?
Mostly when they were coming out for like people, one of our fraternity brothers got hit by a car, and long story short is he had like a traumatic brain injury from the incident. He got hit by like a car while he was crossing the street. The story is that he was trying to help a cat across the street that he saw, and he went out and a guy hit him, an uninsured motorist. So
fuck.
Yeah, so that was for a fundraiser for him. And then another fraternity brother had cancer, and so that was part of a fundraiser for him. So those were the only two that I really wore for a notable time. So stuff like that. I did ice bucket challenge. I never did that. I don't think I was ever challenged, but yeah, that was wild. That got out of hand. And I'll be honest. I used to criticize it because I'm like, so how is this curing ALS? It all brings attention to it. I'm like, okay, but then what? Like, I'm not being cynical, but I am being broken down about it of like, did this help anything? Did the ALS society, whoever is that was originally benefiting, because I think it was like you have to donate to this or do this, but it soon turned into I just did this and now you do this. Was anyone actually donating money? Did they see any influx in progress?
I think it made a lot of money for ALS, like a ton. Actually, let's look it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it might have been one of the most successful like money raising things ever. So over 17 million people participated, raised 115 million for the ALS Association.
Okay.
It's pretty legit.
Wow.
Yeah, I sort of remember, I feel like that was when I was transitioning from like really just fuck everybody me. Mm-hmm. Not like it, but just like, it's just stupid. It's stupid. Like bracelets and all that. Like, why are people doing that? Like, I'm so anti this that I just couldn't, because I'm so punk that I definitely wouldn't just go to college and get a job in Washington D.C. and like have a 9 to 5 do all these things, and I never wore it, but I did have a girl I dated in Texas raced or did this. It's called the T4K or TX4K. So she did a bike. She did a bike trip from Texas to Alaska.
I still get the emails.
You do? Oh, that's right. You donated it to it, didn't you?
I did. I did donate to that, and then I still get the emails from that.
Yeah. So she did it, and like it was like a Lance Armstrong thing. It was part of that. Yeah, they raise a lot of money every year. Like they would panhandle and do that kind of thing. That's why, like, when Lance Armstrong was getting a bunch of hate for doping, I was like, he's a good dude. Who cares if he was doping? Like, everybody was. He was just cheating. He was just jumping the wall. He was just playing the game. He was just jumping
it's not the same
the Wario
thing.
Stadium. If everybody's doing it, then it's okay.
Right. Top of my head, associated athletic cheats. I'm talking Lance Armstrong, Barry Bonds, Jeff Warden at Wario Stadium. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But I did see. I mean, I saw Lance a couple times in Austin. He'd come into the bookstore and very chill dude.
Wait,
So
really?
once you see it, once you see a celebrity or somebody famous and they're cool forever. It doesn't matter what they did. That's my book on it. But I kind of, it raised a lot of money for cancer research. And then the teeth. I didn't do the ice bucket challenge. I don't know why. I tried to get like Salma Hayek to challenge me, and she didn't. But it was such a weird thing when it's all celebrities and famous people, and you're like, this is going to get down to me, isn't it? Eventually, it's going to work its way down to me. I'm going to do it just because.
Yeah.
You know what I do? I'm going to take a cold shower tonight and put 50 cents in that bucket at the gas station. That's what I'm going to do. It might be for kidnapped kids, but I don't know. I'm going to do something. I got to do something.
I'm going to spray myself with a hose and give my pocket change to the UNICEF kids when they come around.
Yeah. What's the most money you've ever donated?
Ooh, to anything?
To something. Mine probably was to the Texas thing that she wrote.
I honestly don't know, but I'm
thinking like $100 or something like that.
I think spot. I honestly was gonna say 100, but that was probably once or twice. But I don't even know what for. But I do find myself like trying to donate to people's GoFundMe's and stuff like that for different things. 10, 15, $20. I give a lot to friends that are raising money or like putting on their teacher Amazon lists and stuff like that put those online, like, hey, buy shit for my class because schools won't pay for it and stuff. So I'll be like, hey, I got your class some markers. Hey, I did this. Kids who post stuff or people who post some certain stuff for their kids, trying to raise money. Although I want to see kids doing more work for their fundraisers. I don't like seeing parents do it as much.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, your kid can go around and hawk candy bars like we had to do back in the day. Or
do candy bars, yeah.
I mean, granted, I was also guilty
raise
giving
money for bands.
Let's be honest, I was also guilty because after I worked on it, I'd be like, Ma, I'm running low because 90,000 kids at school are selling the exact same candy bars. I need you to take this to the doctor's office and work the nurses, or even better yet, put it on the counter and make it open to the patients.
Yeah. Hey, can you sell this candy for more than it costs at the grocery store to people? Just tell them it's for a good cause.
What could possibly go wrong? Hey, dollar candy bars now, people would be eating that shit up.
Here, let's look up random word generator for next week.
Oh, goodness.
Here we go. Ooh, it's a pumpkin. Spooky good deals. And community, disagreement, and blade.
Jeez. Got aggressive at the end.
Community, disagreement, blade.
Those are okay. Those are at least interesting words. Could go anywhere. Community, disagreement.
Some girl cut her finger today at work. Wasn't wearing the cut glove. Bleeding all over the place. The ambulance had to come.
Oh, goodness.
Ridiculous.
Come on.
Utterly ridiculous. Well, because we can't like draw, how like she was like kind of in hysterics a bit. Or probably woozy. But we can't drive somebody to the hospital. Somebody ruined that for us. Some manager was like, hey, let me drive you to the hospital with your finger cut off. But also I'm going to touch your boob a little bit. You know what? Hey,
what?
While you're vulnerable, while I'm driving you there, I'm going to just feel up on this thigh here. Like somebody had to ruin it for somebody at one point,
Probably.
That's what happens, man. You know what?
And you want to give everyone the ability to like monitor where people are. Knock it off, Matt. Yeah. The world's a shitty place.
I mean, I'm not going to name names, but there are some shitty managers out there.
What?
Managers that will,
If they were shitty, they would have never gotten to a position of power. No managers abuse their power. That's not how it works.
Yep. They touch buttholes. They make people drink. They make you like work an extra 15 minutes, which is heinous. It's like, get out of here. They make you come into work on time. It's like, geez.
Talk about an abuse of power.
Yeah, first my butthole, now this. You're getting reported. Well, we've really tied the balloon knot on this one.
Oh, man. The dirt star, you mean?
Yeah, the chocolate starfish.
And the hot dog flavor water. Good night, everybody. Yeah.
All right. That's a good place to wrap it up.
Keep reaching for the stars.
Yeah, I tell you, these after work pods don't get any easier.
They don't.
Or harder. You know,
they're just there.
It's all easy. All right, folks. Yes, we got past an hour. All right, we made it. And
I'm Jeff.
All right, everybody.
Oh, sorry.
Matt, episode 37, coming at you.
Oh, hey, look, a theme song.